On a Tuesday night, Mary, thank you. Tonight, the new fire breaking out in New York City, dry, windy conditions from New York all the way to Boston tonight, where they're dealing with fires too. Ginger Z is standing by on this new system coming through, bringing heavy rain and when it hits. But first, Trevor Ault on the scene of this new fire right here in New York tonight.
Tonight, a brush fire breaking out in New York City, smoke billowing along Upper Manhattan's Harlem River Drive.
They've got about 10 acres burning at this point. It is a second alarm blaze that they are trying to get under control.
The FDNY says they battled more than 270 brush fires in the first 2 weeks of November. This one, just the latest to flare up in the drought-stricken Northeast. Overnight south of Boston, gusty winds fueling a brush fire in Milton. Crews there battling the flames as the blaze grew to more than 40 acres. And Massachusetts officials say more than 600 fires have scorched a year's worth of acreage in less than 2 months. In New Hampshire, firefighters from multiple towns converging on a fire in Brentwood. And right around dinner time, east of Philadelphia in Haynesport, New Jersey, terrified families could only watch as these flames got dangerously close.
You hear about fire danger everywhere, but you never think it's going to come to your neighborhood or your town.
And David, you see the major response here from the FDNY here in Upper Manhattan. There is some relief in the forecast Thursday with some rain, but even with that, the city's also now activating their flash flood plan. David?
Trevor Ault, thanks. Let's get right to Ginger Z with more on what you just mentioned, Trevor. She's tracking the much-needed rain coming and the real threat also we're watching in the west tonight. But first, the rain, Ginger. When does it get here?
It gets here Thursday morning, but it'll start Wednesday night in Pennsylvania. I'll time it all out for you, David. We desperately need it. New York City has a 9-inch rain deficit since September 1st, and it looks like we could get an inch or two. See how the timing there stops at 7 a.m., but it's going to be so heavy, and we're so dry that flash flooding and ponding on the roads, especially for that morning commute on Thursday around New York City and New Jersey, going to be an issue. Boston gets it by the evening of Thursday, and then into Friday, we'll have some wraparound, so that'll be some much-needed and added moisture, and you notice there's some snow there in the Poconos and Catskills too. Have to tell you about the life-threatening flash flood potential for Northern California, the blizzard warning in the Cascades. We're talking feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada and winds, David, up to 85 miles per hour.
Yeah, the real threat in the Northwest, and you mentioned that flash flooding here in the Northeast because it's been so dry. We'll be watching that right here with you, Ginger. Thank you. Also here in New York City, team in Ukraine, we thank you again tonight. Meantime, back here in the U.S., the deadly E. coli outbreak tied to organic carrots. At least 39 people sickened across 18 states. One person has died. The carrots bought at Wegmans, Whole Foods, Walmart, and others, traced to a California farm tonight. And Melissa Adon is there.
As families are heading to the grocery store ahead of Thanksgiving, tonight, Grimway Farms, one of the largest producers of organic vegetables in the country, at the center of that deadly E. coli outbreak, tied to bags of its organic whole and baby carrots. At least 39 people falling ill so far across 18 states, more than a dozen hospitalized. Officials revealing a Los Angeles County resident died after eating the contaminated carrots. That person was over 65 with pre-existing medical conditions. The case is linked to these brands of organic carrots and baby carrots harvested at Grimway Farms in California and sold at popular stores like Target, Wegmans, Trader Joe's, and Walmart. The CDC now asking people to check their refrigerators if they bought bags of whole carrots from August 14th to October 23rd, or baby carrots with best if used by dates from September 11th through November 12th. And David, you see the truck beds here full of carrots. This is where Grimway Farm says they are conducting a thorough review of their processing practices. David.
Melissa Adon right there in California tonight. Melissa, thank you. Finally tonight here, remembering musician Vic Flick and his unmistakable sound, from playing with the Beatles to James Bond. He was the man behind the music. For James Bond 007 for decades, that song. The first time Dr. No, 1962, the musician playing the guitar, Vic Flick.
Bond. James Bond.
During an interview with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, this is Vic Flick playing the song 50 years later.
We worked on it and played it and sped it up a little bit and put a little bit of aggression into it. And we finished up with the James Bond theme, which now has lasted for 50 years.
Vic Flick was called a musician's musician. In the 1960s, you could hear him playing guitar on some of the decade's biggest songs. Petula Clark's Downtown. Tom Jones' It's Not Unusual.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
And with the Beatles, their movie Hard Day's Night, you could hear his Fender guitar. Vic Flick's family announcing he died peacefully after his battle with Alzheimer's. He was 87. Tonight, we remember a lifetime of music and one iconic Hollywood song. We give Vic Flick the final note tonight. You're not going to be able to get that Bond theme out of your head tonight. I'm David Muir. I'll see you right back here tomorrow from all of us here. Have a good evening. Good night.